Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Fat Gay Texan. This is Jake, your host. This is a show where we talk about anything and everything, and we don't throw political correctness out the window because we never let it in the house to begin with. So today I wanted to speak briefly about when I came out to my family and my friends many, many, many years ago. It was a little different back then than it is now. It wasn't really accepted. It wasn't something everyone did. And it was nerve-wracking as hell. However, in most moments in my life, I try to be a truthful and honest person. And if there's something eating me up inside, I just have to get it out at some point. So I guess we'll start when I knew I was gay. And I think it kind of starts when puberty starts for most people. You know, usually when little boys or little girls get attracted to little boys or little girls. And the same thing's true for gay people, I believe. Attraction just kind of starts at a certain age. And, that's when you start noticing that, oh, this is what I'm attracted to. So I knew, probably when I was 12, or maybe even a little younger, that I was gay. Now, I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what gay was. Remember, I grew up in a really kind of conservative household. We didn't talk about those things. But you knew what you were attracted to. I knew that being gay was frowned upon, even though we didn't ever really talk about it. One thing I understand about my childhood is although we were very conservative growing up, my family was very loving and accepting for everyone. So we never talked bad about anyone or anything. But I knew that I was not expected to be gay. I knew that, I'm a dude. I'm supposed to find a girl, get married, have a family. So I had these feelings inside of me for a long time. And it wasn't until when I was 16 when I came out. And I came out first to my very good friend Tiffany. I remember we had just left school. I had taken her home because I had a car. And I remember we were sitting in, it was this Kia Sportage that I had at the time. And I thought I was hot shit with the Kia Sportage. Oh, ho, 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 ho. But it was certainly nicer than my old work van that I used to have. That was one of my first cars. So anyway, we were sitting there. I was dropping her off and she was getting out of the car. And I said, Tiffany, I've got something to tell you. And no, Tiffany was my best friend at the time. And you think, this is a friend you share everything with. We had been sick together. I had stayed at her house with her, all these things. So close. There wasn't a secret we had between one another. But you get really nervous when you come out because you know that there is a possibility that by saying the words, I'm gay, you could lose all your friends. Your family could be mad at you. Your family could disown you. And that was the only battle I had. It wasn't that I didn't want to be honest. It was I didn't want to lose her as a friend. So I came out to Tiffany after I stalled for like 5 minutes, like an idiot, but I did. I stalled. And I remember when I told Tiffany, she's like, oh, okay, that's cool. I'm fine with that. I love you. You're my friend. It doesn't matter to me. And I felt so good about it. And then I left. She left, went into her apartment, and I left. And I don't know if I went to work or where I went afterwards. And I remember the next day thinking, okay, I hope things are normal. I hope things are good. And they were. And that gave me the confidence and the courage to just admit it and just come out to everyone at school. And I did. This all happened with like a week or two period. And Then I knew I had to come out to my family. And I remember I was sitting in the front yard. I remember I come from a divorced household. I don't know if I've ever been told anybody. I don't know if I've told y'all that. My parents were divorced. That's a whole other podcast episode. But I was sitting in the front yard at my dad's house, and I called my mom, and I said, Mom, I've got something to tell you. Sit down. Are you sitting down? She said, yes. I said, it's serious. And she said, did you get someone pregnant? I said, no. She said, are you on drugs? I said, no. She said, are you gay? I said, yes. And I don't recall what happened after that. We talked for a little bit. She told me that she loved me and that would never change. And I said, I'll see you soon. Then I went into the house and I told my dad and my stepmom. They didn't take it as well as my mom did, at least on that phone call. My dad was, of course, he said he loved me, but all those stupid questions like, are you sure you're gay? No, I'm not sure. Yes, I'm sure, you jackass. Then he went into, I don't have a son anymore. Meanwhile, I took auto shopped. I loved camping. I love being outdoors and stuff. I do more quote unquote manly things than my dad ever did. He goes, I don't have a son anymore. And I said, well, with any luck, my sister will grow up to be a butch lesbian. You can finally have the son you want. And so I went to my room, and my stepmom, this could have been the next day. I don't know. It's all blurred. But she came in and she's like, well, do you know what gay sex is? I was like, yeah. She goes, do you know what they do? I said, yeah. I test drove the car before I bought it. I was always kind of a jackass. And she's like, no, no, no. And so she went off. She went off and went off somewhere else in the house. And it was a really awkward couple of week period. And I started dating someone. I was fully out in school. And then I did what most gay people do. I became very, very flamboyant. I mean, not annoyingly so, but, makeup and yada, 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 yada. And not crazy makeup, not drag or anything, but, foundation and making sure I looked good and all those kind of stereotypical things. I've always kind of had this voice. So I can't even do the gay voice, honestly, y'all. The little lisp I have is more because I'm from the South than it is because I'm gay. But anyway, everything was going okay. And what I didn't know, that I found out later, was that my mom actually had a really hard time with it. And she was so brave. She put on a face. She didn't want me to know that. And I think she did that because she didn't ever want me to doubt the fact that she loved me. So she put on this really brave face, act like it didn't bother her. But I found out much later it did. I ran into a friend of mine while I was at work. She told me that she'd ran into my mom and at the grocery store, and they talked, and my mom broke down, and she was confused, and she didn't know what or why. And that hurt. Not that my mom was confused about it, but I felt like I'd hurt her. She was trying to figure out if she did something wrong. And my mom is a wonderful person. She never did anything wrong in my eyes growing up. She did everything she could in spite of the circumstances we were in. And I'm always been much closer to my mom than I was my dad. That's still true today. So then I had to tell the rest of my family. Now, I have my grandparents on my dad's side are also divorced way before I was born. So I actually have like 3 sets of grandparents, 2 on my dad's side and my grandmother on my mom's side. And I don't think I ever told my grandmother on my mom's side. I'm not sure if I did or not. I don't think so. I'm looking at her photograph right now in my room. I don't think so. I don't think I told her. She died only 2 years after this all happened. I don't think I told her. I did tell my other two grandparents, and they both said the same thing. We love you. We love you. I don't have a backstory on that because they live in another state. So I don't know what the reaction was or anything else, but it was just a hard time. It was easier than I thought it would be. It was scarier than I thought it would be. And it drained me emotionally more than I thought it would. Because as much as a jackass as I am, and I put on this cold-hearted, don't care persona most of the time, I do care. I have a heart. Things hit me really deeply, and that did. Now, that has been well over 2 decades ago now at this point. And I since moved on. I since, all my relationships. Let me tell you, if you're coming out, unless your parents are horrible people and your family's just horrible people, the relationships heal. You get back to it. I'm closer now with most of my family than I ever have been. And the ones I'm not as close to as I was, it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm gay. It has everything to do with, some relationships. Yeah, relationships, they ebb and flow. Sometimes they're strong, you talk all the time, other times you don't. So that's the one message I really want to get across. It's scary. It's terrifying. It's going to be okay. And most everything will get back to normal. And you got to remember, I have a very conservative Christian family. And I jokingly say now that coming out so much easier because if you sit your mom down, you say, Mom, I got something to tell you. And she says, what? And you say, well, I'm gay. And she looks at you and says, oh my God, thank God you're not transgendered. I don't think parents can deal with that yet. Gay, they're like, oh, okay. Whew, that's pretty much normal nowadays. Well, that's fine, son. Whew, as long as you're not one of those, gender fluids over there. We're okay with you. We love you. And there's a million coming out stories, but that's how mine went. And I'm sorry I don't have the world's best recollection of it because it was so many years ago and it wasn't that traumatic. It was at the time, but everything is at the time. Everything in the moment seems so important and so intense and so real. And as you let time pass on, you go, oh, was that even a thing? I have been out for so many years that I don't even think about it. I don't even think about my coming out story. I don't think I've ever told anyone my coming out story. It's never bothered me. So I hope, in many ways, I hope you have the same experience. I hope you do it and you go, okay, that's over with. And you deal with the emotions at the time. And then you just get over it and you're like, okay, cool. I don't even think about it. Now, I got out of that flamboyant period pretty quickly. It's kind of like a firecracker. Then it's over with. And that's kind of how it went. I kind of got back to being me, which helped everybody deal with it. And I will say, this is not politically correct by any means in today's world. When you come out, for the sake of your family, don't go flamboyant. They're already dealing with the shit that you just told them. Don't change completely, because if you do, they're going to feel even more like they lost the person they used to know. See, the way I handle being gay is different than a lot of people, especially nowadays. I never talk about it. I don't go to gay pride parades. I don't, it's not even a thought in my mind at all. Being gay should be more simplistic than what it is. Being gay is it's an attraction. I am attracted to that. Some men like big women. They're attracted to big women. It doesn't change anything about their personality or anything. Being gay, it should be just as simple. It is, okay, let's get real. Joan Rivers. Can we talk? Being gay is just an attraction. That's it. It is nothing more than that. You are sexually and emotionally attracted to the same sex. That's all it is. It is nothing else. It is not a lifestyle. It is not an accent. It is not a way you dress, although I do have a fabulous apartment. But that would, I think some men just do. But it is nothing other than an attraction. And if you keep that in mind, that will help you so much in life. That will help all your relationships, that with your family, that will help everything. Being gay is not important. It's just one part of you. My sexual attraction and everyone's sexual attraction should be one of the smallest parts of your life. My passions, my dreams, my work, my goals, what I want to, my traveling, my family, my friends, those are the things that are important. The other things is a sexual attraction, an emotional attraction. And if you treat it like that, it is so much easier to live with. Don't change. Do not be a freaking stereotype. I can't stand people who are stereotypes. I can't stand that that's what you think you have to be because that's all you see in the media. That's like, just be you. It's the simplest thing in the world to be. Just be you. But if you hang out with your friends and you all dress the same and you all sound the same and you're not being authentically you. Being gay is not that important. Don't take that the wrong way. You know what I'm saying. It's not that important. So that's kind of my coming out thing. Now, I don't talk about it to anyone. If you ask me, I'll tell you. I don't give a shit. If you ask the question, I give you the answer. Otherwise, I don't talk about it. Because why? Why does everyone feel the need to talk about it nowadays? Everybody, I just need you to know that I'm gay. If you are ever bored, look up on YouTube. It's an old Mad TV skit. Mad TV, the gay plumber. And it's this hilarious skit about this plumber who comes over and he's going to go fix a leak in the bathroom. And he goes in the bathroom, he pops out, he goes, I just need you to know something. I'm gay. And she's like, okay, I don't care. Then her husband goes, anyway, watch the skit. It's hilarious because most people don't care. I don't know why we have to feel the need to talk about any of that stuff, especially at work or anything. If you ask me, I will tell you. I will tell you that I'm married. And I'm telling you that I'm married to a man. I don't hide it. I never hide it. If you point blank ask me. Other than that, I don't say it. It's not necessary. It's not necessary for anyone to say it. Whatever in the hell their sexual orientation is, whatever they are. It's not necessary. In most circumstances, it's not important. Because out of all the things, all the great things about me, well, that sounds self-serving, doesn't it? But honestly, all the great things about me, all the wonderful things in my life, if I'm going to be remembered if I want to be remembered in any way, shape, or form, I don't want to say on my gravestone, Jake, gay. No, I don't want any of that. If you know me at all, if you get to know any one side of me, I don't want it to be that side because that side's not important. Just like it is not important that Bob over there likes women who are over 350 pounds. Bob died October 6th, loves fat women. No one cares. No one cares. Think about it like that. It will help you. This is a different sort of podcast episode. I'm not going to end it with things I hate. Well, maybe I will. I kind of touched a little bit on the stereotypes and whatnot. I will end it with this. This will lead into probably the next podcast episode or one coming up very soon. I can't stand the community, the gay community. Can't stand it. That doesn't mean I can't stand gay people. Don't get me wrong. But you know what I'm talking about. The community. Oh, you're a part of the community. No, baby, I'm a part of my community. My community is made up of my friends, the area I live in, the people I meet every day. I am not part of your world. I don't have to be part of that world to be accepted. I don't want to be part of that world because I think all these little communities, I don't know why I'm doing the quotation marks with my hands, like you can actually see them because this is a podcast. But any of these communities or separate little groups, it causes division and it pisses me off. I don't know how many times I've said it in these podcasts. Watch me, I've never said it once, but I believe I have said this. The utopia that I want to live in is where it doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, black, Asian, doesn't matter. Any of those things doesn't matter. We don't care. We don't need communities. We all live as one. And I think the more and more you dive into, I'm part of this community and I'm part of this, you create the division. Now, is it wrong to hang out with people who are like-minded? No, because sometimes you need that. You need to know that you're not alone in the world. But you need to make your own community. Don't be part of something just because you think you have to be. Why does your world have to change? It doesn't. Your world doesn't have to change just because you're gay. You can have the same friends, the same family, the same likes, the same, job, the same car, the same clothes, the same house. Nothing has to change because you're gay. Don't fall into that trap. It will hurt you mentally. Anyway, this has been Jake for the Fat Gay Texan. I hope you got something out of this. And if you didn't, well, thank you for listening anyway. You can find us on almost every streaming platform and most forms of social media. And as always, I thank you for listening.